Yeah, man, subscribe. Welcome back. Texas Rangers with the boys. We are the boys, your daily Texas Rangers podcast by a couple of pro wrestlers who love Rangers baseball. And we want to thank you for making us the first listen of your day. This is your boy, Kev, a.k.a. YBK Kevin Frazier. Hey, look, it's not, Texas Rangers.
It's the end of the world. It's falling. The sky is falling. Everything is over. There's no way the Rangers could ever possibly make it back from this one game under 500, and I'm almost ready to cry.
So your Texas Rangers are still the defending World Series champions. There's really no reason to freak out.
No, I've already freaked.
Well, I don't think it's a big deal. I honestly think there we go. I was like awkward for a second because you were frozen in a really funny position on my screen.
Yeah, no, I was just sitting like that to really make you think that I was serious about what was
the way
going
you
on.
talked without moving your mouth. But hey, guys, intro, Texas Rangers, don't sweat it. We got Boch, we got a team, we got the people coming back. We're the defending World Series champs. I got my Seager ring right over there. There's really nothing to be too freaked out about. Guys, we went our entire lives, every single person listening and watching this show, we went our entire lives without a World Series. There's no reason to freak out because we're a little bit under 500 and we're facing a little bit of adversity. So, hey, before we talk Rangers baseball, don't forget to check me out on social media, Kevin Lee Frazier. That's Frazier. Don't forget to check out Texas Rangers with the boys on social media, TX Rangers, WTB. And guess what? We've got a website, and you can check it out, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
It's all one word.
That. And also right here on YouTube, Sports Fluent Network at Chilltown Hoops. Come check out our beautiful faces. What hotel is Manimal going to be at is the question of the week right now, really probably for the next couple weeks. So
for this week, for sure, yeah.
Well, how you doing, buddy? Where can
you
they
want
find
to know?
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm at the Golden Nugget.
The Golden. Oh, wow. Let me introduce you. As usual, my co-host, the 300-pound Manimal, a.k.a. Bull, in Vegas. How you doing, buddy? No, well, he'll tell
I'm
you.
Not in Vegas.
He just is going to keep talking over everything I say. There you go. How you doing, buddy? Where can they find you on socials?
Well, first, in real life, they can find me on the shores of South Lake Tahoe and State Line, Nevada, at the Golden Nugget Casino. It used to be the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. I pulled up and I was like, "Where's the Hard Rock?" And I realized that it was now a Golden Nugget. So I just jumped on the old price line, got myself a nice $57 room here at the Golden Nugget. That picture that I sent you a second ago, that was out my window. You can see the lake and the sunshine and all of that stuff.
Oh,
that's going on out here. But I'm on the shores of Lake Tahoe tonight. I'm going to stop in at the Grand Sierra Resort tomorrow in Reno, Nevada. Pick up some winnings from the season last year, and then I'll start heading home, get back, because I can't leave my little doggies alone too long, because they've already been through so much trauma these last couple of months. I don't want them to think I'm not coming home too. So, but anyways, you can find me on Twitter, Manimal Bull, Instagram, Manimal300, both Facebook and TikTok at Bull Pro. You can find me in real life in State Line, Nevada, on the shores of the beautiful Lake Tahoe. I'm going to go find me a place to get a steak here after the show.
Ooh, man. Nothing like some prime beef for dinner. I'm not about to let you goad me into starting to talk about Rangers baseball or even prime beef without you telling them first about Matt War Pro.
Well, at this very moment, I'm much more interested in the beef. But on May 24th, that's just a couple of days away. It's Friday night. You come on out Southside Preservation Hall. We're going to be that. Matt War Pro is going to be back with Slam and Destroy 2. It's going to be a big time. Chicken heads, chicken tenders are going to be out back with Kelly's Onion Burgers this month. We're also going to have Starry's Ice Cream inside. And Martinelli's Brewing is giving away all the free beer you can drink. If you're 21 and up, it's going to be a big show. Lots of big heavyweight matches on the card. The Trinity River Heritage title will be on the line. So come on out and support Matt War Pro this Friday, May 24th at the Southside Preservation Hall, which we all know by now is just a stone's throw away from Interstate Highway 30 and just on that south side of downtown Fort Worth. So come on out May 24th. Get your Memorial Day bro started right with Matt War Pro.
Memorial Day weekend, bro. Man,
Memorial
go listen
Day
to
weekend, bro.
Go listen to Down on the Farm with the Boys, and you'll hear all about Memorial Day weekend, bro.
In San Antonio.
In San Antonio. Don't go to San Antonio without a hotel reservation.
No, not this weekend. You should have reservations.
This weekend. Like, guys, do not go. If
you're not going to find a
reservation.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. You're not going to find one.
You will not find a hotel.
You might find yourself choking out a hotel attendant. You never know.
You could.
Or
you might find yourself just finishing the rest of your trip and going on home.
So the AL West is getting interesting, huh?
I don't know if it's getting away a little bit. Rangers
that may be a touch.
I mean, Rangers losing some ground here in the AL West. Probably the furthest back I guess they've been since the end of the season last year.
2023.
Well, and remember, yeah, probably so.
2022, right? Because they were 2023. They were tied for first place at the end of the season last year.
Yeah. So they were. I
don't think they got much more than like 2 or 3 games out ever at any point. So yeah, no, it's been a while. It's been the entire Bruce Bochy era since they've been under 500, huh?
Yeah. First time they've been under 500. Honestly, like, it's cool to have these streaks, and it's great that we haven't had to endure this at any point thus far. We've kind of been spoiled. I would say, like, consider like being a lifelong Ranger fan. We've been kind of spoiled a little bit compared to what we're used to. So I'm not fretting it. I'm not freaking out. I'm not worried about it too much. I mean, I'm a Ranger fan, whether they're the best team in the league or whether they're not. But it is a little, we were hanging out at the top of the division for a while. We've hit a really tough stretch of baseball. Had pretty much anything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this team. They haven't done themselves any favors up to this point. And Seattle's done, to their credit, while the Rangers have been 2 out of their last 8, Seattle's won 6 out of their last 4. And that's been the biggest reason. 6 out of the last 10. They've been the big reason that they are why they've taken over the lead and kind of got a 3-game lead going. The Rangers are going to probably have to win this division to get into the playoffs this year because
there's a lot of season left. There's time for both Seattle and Texas to kind of get on runs and kind of go. But yeah, I think you're right. Probably it's going to be very much like the AL Central has been the last couple of years, where if you want to get in the playoffs, you're going to have to win that thing. And, 3 games is 3 games. I think the Rangers were down 3 games a handful of times last year at the end of the season. Still managed to make the games up and end, tied there for first place, losing the overall head-to-head with the Astros. But overall, I mean, a game under 500, it's not the end of the world. It's not. I mean, we've seen good teams struggle at the beginning of the season and get back where they need to be. But right now this isn't a real good team. They're not hitting the ball, and it starts at the top of the lineup with the guys that you expect so much from, and then it goes all the way through the lineup. And, they've had peaks and valleys with different guys, but they haven't really gotten to a point where they've gotten all the guys hot at the same time. And I think that's been one of those big things. And also, I mean, if you remember correctly, the Rangers had some lulls during the middle of the season last year. They didn't play particularly good baseball. It was really just kind of covered up by the fact that they were historically good in April and May and jumped out to 15 or 18 games over 500. And then, there's no reason to say they can't do that again this year, just at a different point in the season and all the bats start coming together. But they got to get them healthy. They got to get them out there, and they got to do the same on the pitching side too.
Well, speaking of health of the team, just a few injury notes as of yet. Dallas Garcia sits out another game with a forearm thing. They said that is a really interesting, weird way they put this. They said that injury, his forearm is not bad. Said his MRI came back pretty good. Like, what does that even mean? Like, pretty good. It came back pretty good.
I mean, an 85% MRI can still be effed.
I don't even know what you just gave me more. You just gave me more information than pretty good. Like, what does pretty good mean? I don't even know what that means.
I'm not sure either. And it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, you're hoping he's healthy, but if an MRI came back pretty clean, but there's a little strain there, or there's a little tear in this muscle or something like that in the forearm. I mean, like that's pretty good, but it still sucks.
Yeah, I just thought that was a funny quote. It's like, oh, his MRI came back pretty good. It's like, well, is he good or is he not? Like what does that mean?
Good, bad, what? Interesting. I've been driving all day, so I haven't really been reading Twitter. I'll probably catch up here in a little bit and laugh at that myself.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. So
pretty good MRI.
Yeah, pretty good. Some roster moves got made as it relates to 40-man. Austin Pruitt goes on the 60-day, so that opens up that 40-man. Why do I want to call him Glenn Allen Hill? But it's not Glenn Allen Hill.
No, it's Derek Hill.
Derek Hill. He's coming up to the big leagues, earned every bit of it by just scorching.
He was hitting 340 at AAA Round Rock. He was very deserving, and he came up and hit the ball last night for the Rangers, and then also Davis Wenzel optioned to back to AAA Round Rock. Probably won't hurt him to start getting at bats again and getting consistent at bats. When you're not hitting, the team can't force you out there just because they want to get you at bats. They're already doing that with Langford and Carter, and you can't have 3 or 4 or 5 guys that you're just out there forcing at bats on. Especially if there's going to be a time where you're going to be looking for at bats.
Yeah, batting 100. Is not.
Just ain't gonna do it unless you're a backup catcher.
No, and even then, it's starting to become a liability.
It still sucks, yeah.
Yeah. So there's some moves for the Rangers got made. Also, real quick, John Gray left the game last night with a groin strain. So we got groin strains all over the place. Evaldi had a groin strain.
Yeah, they may just be flipping those guys this week. They may actually just be kind of flipping those guys back this week because, where there's smoke, there's fire. I would imagine at some point today we'll probably wake up to or look at the news to see that John Gray is going to be placed on the IL.
This year,
hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully that's not the case, but it's probably going to be the case. Hopefully they'll be able to. Hopefully they'll be able to get a couple of those pitchers back from the IL this week and strengthen that, even if they do lose it.
Well, before we move any further, I want to bring up something that you brought up. I want to talk about something that you brought up off air. I think is a really great point. You know,
Oh,
how important how important is Josh Young to this offense? Like I want you to make your case because I think it's a dadgum good case. Like
well, I don't have any numbers to support it, so I don't
right,
want to
right.
really like make it
But you do
a
have the most
deal.
important thing, the
Just
eyeball test.
yeah, just the eyeball
That's
test, and
important.
this is not a knock on Josh Smith. I feel like it comes off like that I'm sarcastic towards that kid, and I really
I
do
don't
like
think it
Josh
has to be one
Smith.
or the other. I,
I
I
think
don't
it's
think
more of the fact that I just know that Josh Young is going to be such an integral part of why the Rangers have won. And you just watch, and I mean, they were 2 series in, they were 4-1 with a couple of series win, or 4-2 with a couple of series wins. Josh Young's hitting 400 plus with 3 or 4 home runs already in the season. And, you know, he goes down and the offense starts to struggle. And I thought last year when he went down late in the season, you kind of started to see that offense struggle. And they had a rough stretch while he was down for his 8 weeks last year. So I don't know that that's the case. I don't have any numbers to support this. This is just me like with a dead phone and nothing else to do on a 7-hour drive from Las Vegas to Lake Tahoe. And in
to
my head,
piggyback.
all I can keep thinking about, because it's not Josh Smith, he's not the problem. If you
No,
were getting
and
him
it's
at
not either
bats at
or. You know,
if
it's
you
not
were
like
getting Josh Smith at bats in left field or a DH or whatever the case may be, he would still be producing for the club. I mean, you're going to get him in there. Like those things normally work themselves out. You know how like the John Daniels used to be the worst about trading young players that were in log jams and then ending up like having no one by the end of the season because he traded everybody away and he's working off of what's the kid that just went to Japan to play ball that Elia Hernandez, you know, like that's how Elia Hernandez gets a shot in the big leagues is because they traded away this guy and this guy and this guy who were big leaguers. And then you end up trying to figure out if Steele Walker and Elia Hernandez are going to be pieces in your outfield for the future. When I could have told you that they weren't just watching them at Round Rock.
right, right. Well, and I think with the Josh Smith thing, I don't think the interesting thing is I don't even think the two have to correlate because you can have both.
No,
You can
because
have
Josh
both. You know,
Smith can
Josh Smith's
play
doing a great
multiple
job,
positions.
but think if he's doing what he's doing and you've got Josh Young, that's what I'm feeling like. And the big issue too is like Josh Young is a great guy against left-handed pitching, and Rangers have really struggled against left-handed pitching. So it's kind of like it's just an element of the offense that I feel like is missing for sure. And I just think the Rangers are missing some firepower with the team. You know, like we talked, I think, off air about kind of catchers and stuff, and like you know, I really feel like we miss Garver's bat. I really feel like we miss, Josh Young for sure. I really think that like bringing Grossman back is trying to rectify something that was missing, you know. But I also want
Well,
to
I
go.
think. Oh, sorry.
Let
No.
me just kind of say my thing, and then I'll pass it. But like, I also think that I don't think it's a bad thing that we did what we did, though, because it's time to see what Wenzel has. It's time to see what Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter and Justin Foscue and like and obviously that has none of it's gone the way we want it to, but you needed it. Like you needed these guys to get at bats. And I think at this point, like you kind of know where we're at right now. And I think like, yes, I want to get Josh Young back, but I also wouldn't hate to see if Derek Hill doesn't turn out to be this year's what was the guy? Don't try it again. Danny Santana.
Danny
Yeah, if
Santana.
he doesn't turn out to be the next Danny Santana in the next like week, like I'm starting to think like, hey, maybe we need to be looking for another bat out there.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah. It might be time to start looking and seeing who's ready to sell in June
you know
instead
who
of
would have been nice to
July.
have right now, and I don't know how he's hitting. but he was a guy I really wanted to get in the offseason was Reese Hoskins. I'm going to go look for him.
Oh, over with the Brewers. I thought you were going to say JD Martinez. I was going to say he did have that big break of what's his face's forearm. Wilson Contreras' forearm. Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I just, like I said,
Hoskins,
I mean,
you want to hear it? Hoskins is slugging 474 right now for the Brewers. So wouldn't have hated that. Wouldn't have hated that.
More than anything they've got going here, yeah, for sure. But
wouldn't have
you know,
hated it,
you
man.
knew
But
you knew though that I mean the youth was here, the youth we
you have
had
to
to
do
find
it.
out about, and now we're getting to a point where look, maybe the youth isn't quite as ready as we wanted the youth to be. And I mean, you know, Robbie Grossman was on a minor league deal with the White Sox. That was a piece of cake move for them to get a kid that they could probably use in the back of their bullpen at some point this year, even. So, you know, but right now, yeah, they may be in need of a couple of bats, not just one bat, a couple of bats. And if they can find some pieces, you know, who knows? I mean, some teams are going to be selling. So, you know, I mean, what about the idea of bringing Paul Goldschmidt out of St. Louis and getting him here and maybe keeping, you know, maybe he'll figure it out a little bit, being in a lineup where he's going to be facing a lot of left-handed pitching.
Don't play with my emotions, brother. Look,
I'm
I'll
just,
take
you know,
Goldschmidt.
man.
I'll take Goldschmidt all day.
I know he's struggling right now, but he's also still Paul Goldschmidt.
Put him in this lineup, my man. Put him in a lineup like the Rangers lineup, and imagine
let him hit between Seager. Let him hit between Seager and Garcia, and see what happens. You know, I don't know. Maybe that may be the case, and he may be cheap right now because he's struggling so mightily, and it might be worth it, and it might be. I mean, very Soriano, or not Soriano. Dallas Chapman, very Chapman from last year. I always get Alfonso Soriano and Dallas Chapman. I don't know why I get those names confused. I don't.
Well, I get Aroldis Chapman and Dallas Garcia mixed up, so don't feel bad.
I mean, it feels fair. Like I mean, and better than mine,
dude. I think this is a fun conversation, and I feel like we should definitely
take our time maybe
start talking about this at some point.
Maybe Sunday we could talk about the prospects that might line up to make that move happen.
I agree. I think like the Rangers I wouldn't hate to see them make a move like that, because it's just there's nothing wrong with that, man. Like this is part of what being a winning team is like, hey, look, you know, when you're young, the youth movement that you'd hope was going to be. You say it every week, I feel like, or you said it every other week that, you know, prospects are great, but they will break your heart, man. Like they're not all going to pan out.
Not every one of them, though. I mean, they have 20 rounds and 400 kids that get internationally signed. I mean, between that and I mean, the 800, 900 kids that get drafted. I mean, there ain't 1,200 spots in the big leagues.
Nope.
They don't all make it.
Nope, they don't all make it. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a great conversation, especially on a bye week day or something. Just kind of like, what are the Rangers? What moves can they make? And I think just talking about the Josh Young situation.
Any move to not go 1 for 10 again with runners.
And I also wouldn't hate to see the Rangers do another bullpen move as well. Like, I'm not talking about back end kind of stuff here, but like get somebody
to shore up, that front part.
That somebody that would, the front end.
It doesn't have to be a closer, but it needs to be somebody that, you know, like the what's his face, Brad Hand, that kind of guy. Is that his name, Brad Hand? He's been around the league forever, left-hander. I can't think. I'm pretty sure it's Brad Hand, but he's the type of guy that, you know, or that Andrew Chafin guy that we saw from Detroit, you know, someone like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be these guys. I'm just saying.
Or like any of the guys on Seattle that have like the dirty stash in the mullet, like any of those guys.
I thought that was Detroit.
No, they got them too.
Everybody's doing that, huh?
Yeah, everybody from Seattle that's got like the mullet and the dirty stash, I'll take them too. Brad Hand, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. But a guy like that,
that type of pitcher, somebody that's good, somebody that can get guys out. I mean, maybe 5 years ago, I would have said like a guy like Brad Boxberger or something like that. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have to be back end, but he can be. Something like maybe even like what Will Smith was for the first part of the season last year until he decided to rely heavily on just slider.
Well, and I think again, I think that might help because right now, like the bullpen's gotten stretched so thin, and it's early in the season, and you just kind of know that like you're going to need that at some point if you're going to continue to stay competitive. And the injuries have piled up, so that's kind of the only route you can go because you can't start bringing up guys from Double A, and I mean those guys aren't.
No, those guys are so far from ready. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, so you got to figure out something. You can't be signing guys off the street and expect to be competitive either. That's another bad.
No, and they've still got a handful of guys at AAA that they can give an opportunity. I mean, especially in the position player spot. But
Well,
you're looking. We'll just kind of see.
Well, here's my concern. There is that these are still wait and see scenarios, and how much longer wait and see do you have before you get?
Yeah, no, I agree. But at the same time, you bring in a slumping veteran to bring, if he continues slumping, that doesn't do anything either, and you just send away some prospects. So it's a real double-edged sword for you right now because you're really dealing with like. I mean, I don't want to say bottom of the barrel talent, but that scrap heap level, zero WAR caliber player.
Well, and that's why I'm saying the Rangers probably would be suited to try to go make a move. I like the idea of making a move this time of year because you're not in a bidding war with anybody. You're probably going to give up a little more this time of year than you would around the trade deadline. But I also think you get first pick at what you want, and you're not having to compete with other teams for certain things at this point. And I think I like how they went out and got Chapman a little earlier than the trade deadline last year, and I wouldn't hate to see them like make a move, a little earlier this year.
Or what future Cy Young will they give up for?
Well, yeah, but you'll take it.
Up.
Yeah, but you'll take it. Like you'll take that. That's
100,
cool, 100. Man. If you give up Wenzel, if you give up Wenzel, he's gonna go hit 30 home runs next year. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. After watching him hit for 30 days in the big leagues, I don't know that I'm sold.
Well, you were out on Cole Raggins too, so let's not go back.
That's fair.
So, but
I wasn't out. I wanted him to tune it up if he was going to throw in the bullpen, and then all of a sudden he's coming out of the rotation throwing the same that I wanted him to throw in the bullpen.
Well, and if you win the World Series or you're at least trying to win, like that's the stuff you got to do.
Part of it. It's part of it. It's like if you look back at like 2015 and 16, the Rangers kind of gutted the farm system to get Hamels and Lucroy and Carlos Beltran and all those guys. And you look around the league for those guys that they traded, ain't finding them. They're all on a minor league deal somewhere, hoping to get back to the big leagues. So it isn't the end of the world to trade people, especially if you're going to get a guy that's a sure thing.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I just feel like, it's a possible thing, and it's definitely something. It's not top of mind, but something to be fun to talk about. Well, if we're going to make some moves, we definitely are going to have to be dealing some of these minor leaguers. So if you want to know a little more about what the Rangers got going on at the minor league level, you need to check out our exclusive content Down on the Farm with the Boys. We cover all things Rangers minor league. You can go to our website, texasrangerswiththeboys.com.
All one word.
Or you can go to our Spotify page for the audio version. It's just $1.99 a month. Helps you make us your one-stop shop for all things Rangers organization-wide. You can also subscribe here on the Chilltown or on the Sports Fluent Network at Chilltown Hoops. There's 3 different levels. At that 3rd level, you get to actually jump on the show and you can be on an episode with us. So that would be really cool. And again, big shout out to our farmhands who have been subscribing. We've got a handful of you guys, and we appreciate you guys and your faithfulness to the show. Fun show this last week. We dug into the Arizona Complex League. I would be willing to say this is one of our best Down on the Farm episodes that we've posted to date. And it's just a couple guys talking baseball, but I'm going to say it's pretty high-level stuff at some point in certain points, and you're going to learn about players on this team that you didn't know were there, and you'll get very familiar. And I think as this season goes on, you'll get more familiar with some of the guys that the Rangers might be shopping to make some moves this season, to help themselves stay competitive this year. So go check it out. Down on the Farm with the Boys. We cover all things Rangers minor league. All right, well, it's box score time. Hasn't been as fun this year as it was last year, has it?
No, not really. I mean, a lot of times last year we were talking about the Rangers adding runs late in the innings, and this year we're talking about other teams adding runs late in the late innings. So another pretty good performance from John Gray before he left. Moment he left the game, Bryce Harper went yak. I mean, so man, but Ranger Suarez. I mean, hey, not to say that that's any excuse for the Rangers because they haven't hit one left-hander they've seen all season long. But that guy's been pretty good this year, 9-0 for a 1.36 ERA. I mean, if he can just kind of hold pat and be a good pitcher the rest of the way through, I mean, that should be. I mean, that should stand pat for a Cy Young right there.
Yeah.
Man, you go 19, 20 and 1, 2, 3, something like that with a 2.5 ERA. That could very easily be a Cy Young Award winning season. So, Ranger Suarez, not to say that like we talked about in the before the show, the Rangers have gotten to good pitchers like this. We saw it a lot last year where they would get a guy like Ranger Suarez on the hill, and then they would go out and beat him up. And I mean, they did that to Wheeler last year for the Phillies, and they did it. They hung around long enough with what's his face, the other guy that just got paid, Aaron Nola, and got him too on opening day. So we saw him hit some of these good Phillies pitchers last year, and this year, I mean, just not a lot going on for the Rangers bats, and Hill came up, had a couple of base knocks. Derek Hill got on, in front of Simeon, double to score a run, and the Rangers had a questionable reviewed home run that was a home run. It looked like a home run. I mean, I don't know.
It was funny, wasn't it? I thought it was funny. The whole segment was funny.
The whole thing, it was almost like it was like a sitcom segment. Watching it like it was like something that like Seinfeld would have on, like, about, was it a home run? Was it a home run?
Well, it's a homer because there's nachos in the bowl. I thought that was line of the night for me.
Man, old Raymond, he's got it. He does it. He does it good. Bullpen for the Rangers wasn't bad. Cole Winn wasn't really good. Latz got by Harper, but he's not the first left-handed young reliever that's got that way. But overall, I thought the pitching was good again. They kept them in the ball game, but the Rangers just couldn't piece together any hits when they needed them. Couple of ground. Oh, there was a double play there at one point when they had some guys on base, and then they had a couple out there late in the game, and just wasn't happening. Like almost we talk about every night, 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. I mean, anybody that wants to hit, I will happily have them on the Texas Rangers baseball club right now, because nobody's hitting. It's not a lot of fun to watch, and a lot of the reason why I'm driving around the country instead of just hanging by every thread, because I know it's a long season, and I know that you could drive yourself crazy thinking about what if every night, and that's kind of what it's turned into for the Rangers. Is like every night, what if, and I thought I saw a ghost. I don't know if you saw that ghost or not. I thought I saw a ghost. That's why I was turning and looking, but I I don't know what it was. Could have been a ghost. I don't know.
It could be the ghost of Lake Tahoe.
It's the ghost of Lake Tahoe. Maybe it's like a seahorse or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
seahorse ghost of Lake Tahoe.
yeah, sorry if anyone saw me looking around. I was looking for the ghost. But anyways, I thought I saw a shadow, and it could have just been the outside, the sunlight peeking through or something. I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah, the Rangers struggling. It's struggling. It's a struggle fest. The pitching has been good enough to keep you in a ball game, and it just, there hasn't been those nights where, like we talked about last year, all year during box scores, where the Rangers add a run in the seventh, a run in the eighth, and two more in the ninth, and win 12-3. It's just not been that way this year. And the pitching's been good enough to help them win, but they just haven't. They haven't won on those nights.
Yeah. It's I thought one thing that was funny. We were talking about the Rangers need to start running the bases. Just try to do something. You saw Hill go out there and steal a base, so that was pretty cool. It looks like you're frozen, so that's kind of funny.
I'm not though. I'm just kind of reading the box score a little bit because.
No, you have well, we'll see how it comes out on the video. This could be an interesting. Oh, there you're back. But this could be an interesting video this week. But yeah, now you're moving. You're moving.
Yeah,
but
no.
You had a really happy face there for a second. You were like.
No, I'm just sitting still here, just watching.
Yeah. And talking without moving your lips. That's the part that makes me happiest.
I don't know what you're talking about. My lips are absolutely moving.
They are now. Well, Rangers, like you said, offense wasn't really good. Seager got the homer, but he also got rung up 4 times.
Yeah.
Jonah Heim, continues to kind of be a standout for the team. Zeke Duran with the hose from left field. He's got
a cannon. Yeah, he's got a little
watching the game alone right there. Derek Hill kind of came out and had a nice little start to the game. Got on base 3 times in 5 plate appearances. So you liked what you saw there. 5 plate appearances, I think. Anyway, but again, walk, 2 hits from Hill, so that's really good to see. He stole a base. The bullpen, if the bullpen comes out and does their job, the Rangers are still in it. Gray got out of there only giving up a couple runs. The game ended up getting out of hand there late in the game. Obviously, if the Rangers add a couple more runs, then they're in it. But that's kind of why I'm not trying to bash on the bullpen. I think Lats has been pretty good. You go an inning and 2/3, strike out 3 guys, and nobody hates that you give up a homer to Bryce Harper. Yeah, but if the bullpen doesn't roll over for 3 runs, we might still be playing a game right now after what we saw that the other night.
Hopefully we never see. What was the game the other day? Did you see the game the other day that was
Angels.
In the 18th inning? They get a ground ball to third base and they throw home and they get him by a mile and the umpire calls him safe. And they just blow off and the umpire's like, missed the swipe. And they slow it down and it was he swiped him, got him on the hand. They're like, you tagged him 3 different times and the dude never even got to home plate. So I hope we don't.
Just found a way to lose this game. That's really
and they've been doing it quite a bit this year.
Yeah, they found a way to lose this game. It wasn't really they didn't fully get beat as much as they found a way to lose. And
Suarez gets the win. John Gray takes the loss, and big Jose Alvarado gets the save there in the 9th. And they'll be right back at it tomorrow.
That one dude that they bring in there, the guy with the long hair, Strom.
Yeah.
He's pretty awesome, man. Obviously that goes without saying, but
he's a good player.
He's been kind of the Josh Hader-ish kind of guy over the last couple of seasons in terms of just what he's gone out and been able to do. That's a nice guy to have at your repertoire. That's technically not your closer, but it's almost like a stopper. It's like, all right, late in the game, we need somebody to shut it down. All right, bring in that dude.
Yeah, no doubt.
He had 89 innings pitched last year, 87 innings pitched last year. So he's he's a guy that can go out there and get you a lot of innings. He had 114 innings, 2019. So he's a guy that can get
I
out.
think he's made some starts too in the past.
Okay, yeah, well, that season I'm talking about. Yeah, he started a few games and he closed a few games and he held a few games. But anyway, all in all, thought he was a pretty cool. He's a pretty cool piece to have. Kind of the kind of guy that we were just talking about. So, anyways, Rangers go out there today or are playing today. They got who do we got on the mound today?
Dane Dunning is going for the Rangers. He'll be back off the IL, so there'll be another move tomorrow. Not sure what it'll be. We'll just kind of wait and see. And the Phillies will counter with Taijuan Walker, a guy that the Rangers have had some success against in the past when he was with Seattle. So, lots of different teams or whatever, but I don't know what's a 3:40 Pacific time start. Is that 5:40 for you guys in the Central? So 5:40,
4:40, 5:40. Yep.
Yeah, 5:40 start tomorrow afternoon. So it's like day baseball for me and out here in the Pacific.
Yeah, man, they still got to start them earlier on the East Coast because they'll be playing till midnight.
Yeah, well, they love those long baseball games there on the East Coast.
It's a hard life having to stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock every night just to watch baseball. It's rough. But anyways, hey, I digress. That's all we got for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for since we'll be the rest of the week.
We'll be out the rest of the week. We took off yesterday. No game for the Rangers yesterday. We thought they took off. We'll take off. And that way we'll have at least a box score for you for the rest of the week. Rangers on a pretty fun road trip. It's going to be interesting to see how this team responds to all the stuff that's going on with them. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Bull, you're on vacation, so we're going to just go back to doing vacation. Go get that steak that you've been thinking about this entire episode. Don't forget to check us out on social media, TX Rangers WTB. Don't forget to check that website out, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
All one word.
That's where you can subscribe to our exclusive content, Down the Farm with the Boys, where we cover all things Rangers, minor league. This show this week, I'm telling you, it's one of the best ones we've done. Go check it out. You won't regret it. $1.99 on Spotify and the website. If you want to pay a little extra here to see our faces, you can do it at Chilltown Hoops. For the 300-pound manimal, this is your boy Kev. We are Texas Rangers with the Boys, and right now, we're signing out.